Hey, I just wanted to pop in really quickly and show you guys something that I'm doing. I am setting up my very first worm composting bin. And a worm bin is just another way to compost. There's a few different ways to compost. You can just throw all your stuff in a pile and let it break down naturally, or you can do the worm bin like I'm gonna do. And it's just basically you putting all your food scraps and feeding it to worms, and then it turns into worm casting, which is just worm poop. And then you use that to feed the soil, which then feeds your plants. And you might be thinking, ew, worm poo, but it's just a fertilizer and it's really nutritious for the plants. It contains nitrogen, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium. And those are all really good for your plants. But traditional compost is also really good for your plants. I'm just deciding to go with the worms. And from what I've looked up, it's pretty easy to set up a worm bin. I'm going to get worms tomorrow, but I want to just have the bin set up so when I get them, I can just put them in and then they can get to working for me. So the only thing I'm going to use to get started with my worm bin is just an old tote, my drill to drill some holes, and some old paper bags. So the first thing I'm going to do is just drill some holes up top, just so there's just some nice airflow, because you don't want to suffocate the worms. So I'm just going to drill some holes along this side, along all the sides. Drilled holes all along this side and somewhat along that side, but that's okay. Now that that's taken care of, I'm going to add some plastic bags just to line the bottom of it to kind of make like a worm bedding kind of thing. Doesn't have to be pretty. Tear up some plastic bag, or I think I keep saying paper. I think I keep saying plastic. I meant paper bags. Do not use plastic bags. The worms, this they can eat through, but plastic, they can't eat through that. So I just put a paper bag on the bottom. That'll also help soak up some of that moisture that'll come, because what we're feeding them is food scraps. So all the food scraps that are going to come from my kitchen will go into this worm bin, and then they'll eat that and then turn it into black gold, which will be my fertilizer for my plants. I'm going to shred some up as well, because if you know worms, they like to kind of burrow and get down into things, into the soil, and this is like their bedding. I'm so excited I finally get to start doing this, because I have wanted to compost in some kind of capacity for a very long time, but I don't know, I never thought I could, or I don't really know why I never actually started, but I'm finally getting to start and I get to use worms. I'm also starting out very small. I only ordered 200 worms, so that is a very small amount compared to, like, I think they say to like a good start out number is probably like 500 worms. So I just want to start out small, kind of get a feel for it. I've read about it a lot, did a lot of research into it, so I feel pretty confident that I can do it. But I just want to start out small. And then they'll reproduce, and then I'll get more worms that way, and then those worms will be free because they're reproducing. What's better than that? So I'm not trying to make the bedding super thick. Like I said, I only got 200 worms. So this is a big tote for that amount of worms. But this is just what I had. This is all I put in it for now. Just a layer of a layer of flat paper bag, and then just some shredded up pieces. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of compost to this, and that will allow them to have something to kind of eat when they first get here. This is semi broken down compost, actually almost all the way broken down. There's just still a few little things in there, but that'll give them a little something to kind of snack on. That's all the compost I'm going to add for now. I'm going to add another paper bag on top of this. I want the worms to think it's really dark, This is green and the light kind of shines through it, and the top is red. So, but the worms really like darkness. So I'm not gonna even tear these up or anything. Just gonna add them like that. And then when the worms get here, they'll have kind of a nice dark place to get to know their environment. So I'll see you guys back here tomorrow when we bring our little wormy friends home. I'm super excited. I got the worms. So I ordered 200 worms and they came pre-packaged in this cute little bin. Let me show you what it looks like, how they package them up. I had this bubble wrap on top, and it looks like just some shredded cardboard or shredded newspaper. And they've been in here for a couple days. We already see a worm right there, but there's 200 of them in here. Oh, some baby worms. I don't even know if you guys can see how tiny that little worm is. It's so tiny. So we just have to put them in their new home and get them acclimated. Ah, there they are. You really can see them now. Look at all those worms that are gonna start working for me and providing some good nutrition to my plants. I'm gonna keep their bedding. I'm literally just going to lay them right on top of this compost, and then they'll find their way. They'll make their way down and then start eating up some of those larger pieces. Ooh, look at all those worms. So many. Just gonna spread them out. And that's it. And we're gonna cover them up like this so they have nice darkness. And then they are all set. I'll let them acclimate for a few days and then I'll feed them again. I'll just blend up some food scraps and put that in there for them to enjoy. I'll also link to where I got these worms if you're in the LA area. It's just this dad and his 2 kids, and his kids basically run the business. He said that they count the worms by hand if you order like a small batch of worms. Like I only ordered 200, so they count them by hand and package them up for you, and the money that they get is all saved for their college fund. And I think it's so cute. I'll link to where I got the worms from if you're in the LA area, because I don't believe they ship, but I'll link it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for this short little video. I will post updates on how my wormy friends are doing, and later on I can show you what the worm castings look like as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.